We do begin here at noon with a developing story. A second grader is in critical condition but stable after he was struck by a JCPS school bus outside of his school this morning. A district spokesperson told us it happened just after 8 o'clock. The boy was crossing the street in front of Louisville Elementary on Faganbush Lane near Hollow Creek Road. That's in Louisville's Highview neighborhood. The boy struck was with his dad and a sibling at the time. LMPD said the bus was traveling southbound, was empty of children, and remained on scene after that collision. Very preliminary information, according to LMPD, suggests the child may have darted in front of that school bus. We're told that the usual traffic guard who works that intersection was not there today, being off for bereavement. We are staying on top of this story throughout the afternoon, so stay with us on WHAS11.com and the WHAS11 News app. And another developing story going on through the south of us right now. There is a search for a suspect accused of shooting 2 Nashville police officers. And the suspect just happens to be the son of a police chief. It happened over the weekend when officers were responding to a traffic stop. Police said the suspect, 38-year-old John Drake Jr., put up a struggle, then fired shots before taking off. The 2 injured officers are recovering now. Police warn Drake is armed and extremely dangerous. Nashville's mayor is standing by his police chief as investigators search for his son. Congress still cannot pass aid to Israel until a Speaker of the House is chosen. At least 9 Republicans now competing for that position, including House Majority Whip Tom Emmer. He is the frontrunner, but not popular with former President Trump's congressional allies. Because he's one of the 64 Republicans who voted to uphold President Biden's electoral votes back in 2021. Tonight, Republicans will hold a closed-door forum where they will hear from each candidate, and on Tuesday morning, they'll plan to select a candidate with a vote on the House floor to follow that in the afternoon. And now to the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. The Biden administration is asking Israel to delay its expected ground invasion into Gaza in order to allow more time for the release of hostages and to get critical aid to innocent Palestinians. ABC's Inez Delicatera is in Jerusalem.
As Israel steps up its aerial attacks on suspected Hamas targets in Gaza, Israeli authorities also gearing up to launch a full-scale ground invasion in the hopes of wiping out Hamas. But according to a senior administration official, President Biden and other Western allies are urging Israel to delay their offensive, hoping that any pause could allow additional hostages still being held by Hamas to be freed. Israel's defense force increasing their count of hostages taken from Israel to 222. Some Israelis gathering outside of the IDF headquarters concerned about those hostages. The IDF saying, "We will begin the next stage of this war at a time that is of our choosing and best for us operationally." That expected ground war in response to the Hamas terror attack that killed 1,400. Already, more than 5,000 have been killed in Gaza, with over 15,000 injured, according to the Hamas-led health ministry. Entire neighborhoods wiped out, building after building reduced to rubble. Overnight, this refugee camp struck. Health officials in Gaza say more than 40 were killed, mostly women and children. Rescue crews searching the rubble for any survivors. Young children rushed to the hospital. The same camp also hit by shelling on Sunday. Over the weekend, more than 30 aid trucks were allowed through Egypt's Rafah crossing into southern Gaza, bringing much-needed food, water, and medical supplies. But hundreds of trucks normally enter Gaza each day, and advocates say much more is needed to ease the suffering of the Palestinian people.
We need secure and sustainable access in that region so that we can feed. This is a catastrophe happening, and we just simply have to get these trucks in.
And many arguing that the real solution is a ceasefire.
The only thing the international community is doing is pushing for some humanitarian aid to the Gaza Strip, not even a ceasefire. This is dehumanization for Palestinian people.
Clashes are also intensifying along Israel's northern border with Iran-backed Hezbollah militants in Lebanon. More Israeli towns in the north are also being evacuated, with fears that that could become a new front in the war. Inez Delicatera, ABC News, Jerusalem.
Father, help us to remember and honor every day those who have died in service so that we can be free.
This morning, a moment of reflection on the 40th anniversary of the Beirut attack in Lebanon. It marked the deadliest single-day loss of life for the United States Marines since the Battle of Iwo Jima during World War II. Veterans and their families joined together today to remember the 241 Americans who lost their lives back on October 23rd of 1983 while on a peacekeeping mission in Beirut. It's believed to be the initial attack in the ongoing global war on terror when a lone suicidal truck bomber destroyed a Marine Corps barracks.
Those that served and died 4 decades ago, military and civilian, deserve our admiration as they did a tough job in a tough, complicated environment and did it well.
Among the dead were 7 Kentuckians, all of whom have been previously enshrined in the Patriots Peace Memorial. We are just under 2 weeks now from Election Day in Kentucky. The biggest race, the governor's seat. Governor Andy Beshear and Attorney General Daniel Cameron made one of their final attempts to sway voters during a debate Saturday night. Education took center stage. Republican leaders have been pushing for private school vouchers, and both candidates were asked if they would support that plan. Governor Beshear said he was opposed to private school vouchers. However, it was unclear if Cameron would support it.
Again, I'm about supporting our public schools and our public teachers. I will do that as a priority in my first budget. And here's another thing. I've already talked to the legislature about getting my plan passed. The governor has no relationships and will not be able to get his plan passed.
Yeah, the question was on vouchers, which the Attorney General never said. That's because he's on tape supporting vouchers over and over. But I'll give him another shot. We have more time. Do you support vouchers that take money from public education and send them to private schools?
Look, Governor, you shut our schools down for nearly 2 years.
Mr. Cameron and Mr. Beshear, we're moving on to the next question. You had your rebuttal. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, there you have it. Both Governor Beshear and Cameron's education plans are on WHAS11.com right now. Just click the voter's guide on our homepage. And be sure to mark down these dates as we near Election Day. The last day to request a mail-in absentee ballot is tomorrow. No excuse in-person absentee voting starts November 2nd, and Election Day is Tuesday, November 7th. A woman is dead and a man recovering after a shooting in the Taylorberry neighborhood. It happened just after midnight on Sunday. The coroner's office said the woman who died was Crystal Foltz. Our Taylor Woods and sat down with her family as they cope with their loss.
Around midnight, Louisville Metro Police responded to a shooting in the 1500 block of Berry Boulevard. When police arrived, they found a man and 45-year-old Crystal Foltz who were shot. Both were transported to U of L Hospital, and Foltz later died of her injuries.
She was just loving, always happy.
Crystal Foltz's family did not want to be on camera. However, they describe her as a loving mother and grandmother who was family-oriented.
She was a character. She was always making me laugh, and it's hard.
Police say all parties have been accounted for. An LMPD homicide unit is investigating the shooting. Family members say this loss came unexpectedly, saying they just talked to Foltz the day before.
She got me this for my birthday.
Now left holding memories while still hoping to find answers. The Foltz family is trying to hold on to each other as they remember their time with Crystal.
Being able to call her whenever I was upset, or she always knew what to say or how to make me feel better.
It's sad not having her on the couch. It's just a rough time.
In Louisville, Taylor Woods, WHAS11 on your side.
And the family has created a GoFundMe for Crystal's funeral expenses. If you'd like to help, there is a link on this story at WHAS11.com. Indiana basketball's star freshman is facing charges this morning after police say he refused to leave a Taco Bell. Bloomington police records show Mackenzie Mbako was arrested on 2 misdemeanor charges early Sunday morning. According to our ABC affiliate there, Taco Bell management told him that said that he was cursing at employees and was being rude. And when officers tried to arrest him, they said he would not get out of the car. An officer had to break the passenger side window to unlock the doors and forcibly remove him from the vehicle. Mbako was charged with criminal trespassing and resisting law enforcement and released on bond shortly after his arrest. IU Athletics says it's aware of the situation, saying we will continue to gather facts, cooperate with and monitor the legal process, and take further action as the evolving situation warrants. It is day 5 in the hunt for a man suspected of murdering a Maryland state judge in his own driveway. Authorities accuse Pedro Agarte of shooting and killing Judge Andrew Wilkinson because the judge ruled against him in a child custody case. ABC's Em Nguyen has more from Washington.
An urgent manhunt is underway for a father accused of killing the Maryland Circuit Court judge who ruled against him in a divorce and child custody case. Police say 49-year-old Pedro Argote has been on the run since Thursday after he allegedly shot and killed Judge Andrew Wilkinson outside his home, just hours after the judge awarded Argote's estranged wife full custody of their children. The judge also barred Argote from having any contact with his ex-wife and their 4 kids unless she approved.
We think Judge Wilkinson was targeted.
Argote's 2009 silver Mercedes SUV, much like this one, was found in a wooded area about 8 miles from the scene of the murder.
We'll pull the computers, GPSs from it, and then the contents, obviously, if we find anything in the vehicle.
The community in shock, mourning the judge who was known as a soft-spoken family man.
It's not fair. It's not right. Remember that he encouraged people and served people.
Judge Wilkinson is the 3rd state judge in 3 years shot by someone who had a case before their court. And in the last 2 years, there have been more than 7,000 threats against federal judges. National court leaders decrying this a troubling trend, saying attacks in recent years on the rule of law are now having their effects, some renewing their calls for more judicial security.
Officials are offering a $10,000 reward for any information leading to an arrest. The suspect has ties to multiple states like New York and Florida, and authorities say he should be considered armed and dangerous. Em Nguyen, ABC News, Washington.